you don't even know my name and tell him I have a warrant?
My son is 7 years old. You don't have the right to grab him, choke him behind no paper that he threw.
Being arrested by white people was your worst nightmare. It still is for many African Americans.
The Bureau of Justice reported that 1 in 3 young black males is expected to go to jail or prison during his lifetime, which is an unbelievably shocking statistic.
Black men account for roughly 6.5% of the U.S. population. They make up 40.2% of the prison population.
Khalif Browder was kidnapped off the street by police, taken away from his mother, family, friends.
His family unable to make the $10,000 bail, he was hauled off to one of the toughest jails in the country.
It was like hell on earth. We were beaten, stomped by the correction officers, and they was just beating on me.
There are thousands of people in jails right this moment that are sitting there for no other reason than because they're too poor.
Held for over 1,000 days on Rikers Island for a crime he did not commit.
In order to prove his innocence, he had to stay in jail and, as you mentioned, repeatedly refused the prosecutor's plea offers.
Studies have repeatedly shown that the legal system targets Black and African Americans are nearly 5 times more likely than white Americans to be incarcerated.
Football star Brian Banks dominated the field as a high school linebacker and had accepted verbally a full scholarship to USC. But then the unthinkable happened when he was accused and convicted of raping a classmate. Although Brian always maintained his innocence, he says his lawyer advised him to take a plea deal.
If you take this deal, you will get probation. At the most, you'll get about 3 years. So you'll still be young, you can get out and play football. But if you don't take this deal and you walk into that courtroom, you're probably gonna have an all-white jury. You're a big black teenager. They're gonna automatically assume you're guilty based off of your looks, and you will get that 41 years to life in prison.
Brian spent 5 years in prison and another 5 years as a registered sex offender.
My only dream in the world was to just be free and to have the same opportunity as everybody here.
Finally, in June of 2013, all charges against Khalif were dismissed.
I was scared all day because I didn't know where it would come from. I don't know where any harm would come. I've seen a lot of things being done to people, but I've seen people getting jumped, I've seen people getting cut and hit with weapons and all, chairs, all type of stuff. If I would have just been guilty, then my story would have never been heard. Nobody would have took the time to listen to me.
You look at the history of black people's various struggles in this country, the connecting themes is the attempt to be understood as full, complicated human beings.
For a historically aggrieved group whose liberty in the United States was never firmly established to begin with.
How many people do you know in your family that have been to jail?
Almost all of them. I know my brother, Travis, my brother Micey, my sister Tony went to jail before, my cousin Cherie, my cousin Sharon, my Uncle Louis, my Uncle Deborah, my Uncle Bruce, my Uncle James.
The system of mass incarceration has grown and sprawled and developed an appetite that is gobbling up people in communities of all colors.
The manufacturing jobs that helped many black communities thrive began disappearing in the 1970s. More black kids started growing up in concentrated areas of unemployment, poverty, drugs, and crime. It's largely a matter of economics.
The family has failed, the church has failed, maybe the school system, the community, everybody else has failed.
God, I know I don't deserve to be in here, so I just don't feel like I'm gonna be here the rest of my life. It's not, I don't think it's possible. In my head, something just say I'm gonna get out. I know I'm gonna get out.
In fact, there's a long history in this country of dealing with problems in the African American community through criminal justice system, criminalizing social problems in a way that we don't do in other communities.
Mass incarceration cannot exist in a healthy society. It is an intentional humanitarian disaster, a war by the ruling class on the poor and the marginalized.